Going to talk about something here that you don't know that you need until you need it. And what might that be? It would be a contour gauge for going around shapes. Right here is an example of the old steel pin style. And I'll give a little bit of a comparison of this to what I'm actually making this video about. And that is this Saker 10-inch contour gauge. We're going to talk about it and demonstrate it coming up. I'm Roger and welcome to the shop, and what we're talking about here, as I mentioned in the intro, is this Saker 10-inch contour gauge. It's available on Amazon, and I'll be right up front here. This was provided to me to test and demonstrate. However, my opinions are going to be unbiased. Just because this was supplied to me doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to say all great things about this. We're going to actually find out how it works. I've never used it. I haven't even taken it out of the package yet. We're going to do that here coming up, and I'm going to explain what a contour gauge does, why you may need one and not know you need it until you need it, and then when you do need it and you don't have it, you got a problem. That makes sense? Let me get the camera repositioned here and we'll look at this a little closer. Okay, we'll get this guy out of the package here. And it actually comes with some instructions, although I'm pretty sure I know how to use a contour gauge. It gives you a little separate sheet here on if it comes loose, on how to adjust the tightness of it. I can see already I'm going to like this because of the thickness of it. Comes with a little Allen wrench here to adjust the tightness here on the end. Hopefully you can see that right there. In fact, I'll take this off. There are little screws right here where you can adjust and tighten this up if you need to. I'm going to tighten it up just a hair because it was a little bit loose from shipping. In fact, it was a lot loose on that side. Sure I could move them easy. You want them to move easy, but you don't want them to slop around. And by adjusting the tension, they will hold position better. I'll demonstrate exactly what this is for and how they work. It does have a ruler on it and a piece of tape that I'll get rid of here. Okay, on this side here it's in M&Ms, millimeters, and over here we have inches. So it's set from 1 to 10 inches, or from, I should say 0 to 10 inches, or 0 to about 25.5 centimeters. So these are centimeters, not M&Ms. So if you understand metrics, that makes sense. If you don't understand metrics, it's a good thing to pick up. It's all in base 10. It's very simple. It's not as hard as people make it sound. Okay, it comes with an instruction sheet here, how to use it. And of course, it tells you about adjusting the tension here and everything, and then how to use it. And we're actually going to demonstrate it here. Okay, so what do you use a contour gauge for? Let's say that you are putting up some wall paneling, for example, scrap here, and you have a pipe going through the wall. So this is going to come up and it's going to have to be cut around that pipe. Now actually I don't have a pipe right here where I can do that, but I do have a contour on this, and this is what we're going to measure. So imagine that this is the bottom part of a pipe going through a wall, and you need to make this come up and fit tight around that. So how do you do it? Well, in the old time, with my old gauges, these are, this one here is, these are cheap. They're steel pins, and they're just a couple bucks. This one here happens to be tool shop, guaranteed forever, but hey, it's really the bargain bin thing. I have another one of these that's much larger that I used up at the renovation house. If you've watched any of those videos when I laid all the laminate floor, because I had a lot of door jambs to go around and hydronic heat pipes and etc. So the way you use one of these is you would take the contour gauge here and you would put it up against whatever you're trying to go around, and you push on it so it meets and you have a shape. So what you would do then is trace this shape onto your paneling, or if you were doing a door jamb, onto your floor tile or laminate or whatever you're laying. This is a whole lot easier than trying to make cardboard templates and everything. And say these are real cheap, but these here have a disadvantage. These little steel pins, they bend very easy, and if a couple fall out, pretty soon they all fall out. Then you've got a modified version of pickup sticks, and then if you try to put this together, you will just pick the whole thing up, throw it in the trash, go get another one. So that's just a little demonstration of a cheap one. Now we're going to get into the better one here. So take this Saker unit, set it all the way down like this, so we have the full contour. And I really like that this is thicker, because when you have the old type here that's thinner, you've got the wobble, and you can't get it right down tight against the floor because of the way this sits up. So if you've got something that's irregular, that's really close to the floor, like let's say the door stop on a door jamb, although technically you should undercut those with floor covering, but this may put you up too high to be able to get an accurate contour. So with the Saker unit here, and once again, I'm not sponsored by them, but this was given to me to demonstrate, so we're going to see how well it works. And I'm going to push this up against my saw fence, because that's going to be, imagine that's a pipe there in the wall. So you would just simply push this, and you've got a couple little places here, hopefully you could see that up here, where you're going to need to push these manually depending on how far up you have to go. Well, what's nice, and I'm going to zoom in on this, you can actually push these pins up individually with your finger. So you can get everything up good and tight, and you can work it around. You can't do that with those steel pins, believe me, it doesn't work. They're way too fine. And so I'm liking this. Wish I would have had this when I was doing the flooring at the renovation house around those hydronic radiators. This would have been real handy. You see over here where the curve gets very, very sharp, I'm actually able to push these individually up to get a very accurate contour. It's a big plus. Back up here, make sure I got the rest of those. Okay, so what do you do with it after that? You're going to end up with something that looks like this. So let me zoom back out. This is our piece of wall paneling. Like I said, this is a demonstration, so I'm not doing anything real fancy here. You know that this is the ceiling, so you would lay this down. I'm going to back up a little bit here because I just noticed that it's got a contour to it this way. So I'm going to redo this, putting it on here. I'm going to reset this because I want this flat side down so I get the most accurate measurement. I didn't notice that at first. So I'm actually putting this upside down. We'll do the same thing again. I can make my little fine adjustments here. This being tapered is, I think it's a good feature too, because it lets you get way more accurate and you'd be very close with everything. Just push all the little pins in. I don't do things scripted, it's as it goes. So now we have a contour that looks like this. So now we'll take our piece of wall paneling, line up your ceiling piece right there. Turn this around so you can see this a little bit better. Then you just take a pencil, a little shop tip, and you reach for a pencil. If it's got a lot of eraser on it, that means there's a lot of mistakes left in that pencil. So the best pencil to grab is a pencil where the eraser's been used up, because that means most of the mistakes are gone out of the pencil. Little shop tip. Anyway, get on here. All you need to do then is trace. And you'll have a line. But what you will see in this line, because of the way this is made, and it has to be that way, and you'll have the same thing with the pin model, you'll have these little tiny zigzags here. You just simply smooth that out, and you could do it freehand. then you would cut this out. And I'm going to go do that. We're going to see how well it fits on the, actually that's my push block, but we'll see how well it fits on this imaginary pipe. And normally if you were out in the field or doing something, you would be using a jigsaw, but my bandsaw is real close, so I'm going to use that. Okay, so we have our cutout, and note to self is to put a new blade in that bandsaw, because boy, that thing dull. Had a hard time cutting 1/4 inch paneling with it. So here's our imaginary pipe going through the wall right here. Here's our piece of wall paneling. That's pretty close, and a little bit of finish sanding on there would probably even that out a little bit. Like I said, my bandsaw blade was really dull and I was having to struggle with it a little bit. That's a little demonstration on how you use a contour gauge and a demonstration of the Saker unit. And I'll get everything set back so you can see me again. I know that'll thrill you. Okay, one thing I forgot to add when I was showing the demonstration on this, and I knew that was there, there's a little latch on the end. So you've got your contour made, and you don't want it to slip or move or anything till you get over to trace it on your workpiece. This little latch, you simply lift up. These won't move now, unless you really try, but that'll hold them from slipping. Then when you want to get it back or reset it to a straight piece, drop that latch back down, even it back out again. Another big plus on this over the old pin style here is, I've already got pins falling out of this one. See right there, they'll just fall right out. These aren't going to fall out. These will if you're not careful about what you're doing. In fact, I'm not going to leave it like that or I'll have a mess here. And I probably won't use this one anymore because this is just superior. And the other plus on this, of course, is you have these flat sides where you can lay it down and get close up to the actual contour. I'll try to do one here if I can. So there's the other end of my push stick right there. If I needed to make something to go around that. So these aren't going to fall out. You've got this taper on here which gives you a nice crisp edge. It's much better than trying to draw around the pins. So when you do try to draw around the pins, since they are set up from the surface, you got the possibility of your pencil wobbling, so if it needs to be an accurate measurement, you're going to have a problem. The other little tip too, if you are cutting wall paneling with, let's say, a jigsaw, you'd want to try to put that trace on the back side so that when you're cutting, you don't chip out your wood up here. This is a piece of scrap oak paneling. Of course, I use a bandsaw and the blade, goes down, so I didn't have any type of tear out. Although I did have a mighty dull blade and I had to struggle with it a little bit, and that's pretty bad in 1/4 inch material. But anyway, that's my review and demonstration of the 10-inch Saker contour gauge. These are available on Amazon, and I'll put a link below in the description. Once again, this was provided to me to demonstrate. I did not buy this. However, I'm not getting paid to do this either. So that's my honest opinion of it. So far, I don't really see any faults. It's nice that it comes with a little wrench that I'll probably lose, but I have other ones. I can't see where you would store it actually on the unit anywhere. But you have it to tighten this up if you need to. And overall, I'm happy with it. Saker 10-inch contour gauge. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. Of course, we're always looking for subscribers. So next to that subscribe button's a little bell. You click that bell, you'll be notified when I post another video. I'm Roger in the shop. Saker 10-inch contour gauge. I like it. That's an unbiased opinion. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.